So Simone, before we put makeup on before we get ready to work, what is the first step that we actually need to do?
So the first step, I would suggest using a primer. So this will help with keeping your makeup on longer, and also it'll help to apply it easier.
Yeah. And when you're putting primer on, is it best to use a brush? I know sometimes I'm a bit guilty and I've used my fingers, but what do you recommend?
I recommend if you have a brush, you can use a brush. Otherwise, I think you can wash your hands too and just use your fingers.
Okay, so fingers are fine.
Fingers are fine, exactly.
Okay, so primer is on. That literally took about 10 seconds. So our next step is foundation. Now Simone too, you're putting my foundation on with a brush. For foundation, do you recommend a brush or one of the sponges that everyone's using now?
So I would recommend using a brush if you have one, and then afterwards patting it in with a sponge.
So before you actually use the sponge, what do you need to do first?
100% you need to wet it so it's damp, just because then you will not soak up all your foundation.
Okay, so we've got primer, foundation, and next is concealer. Now, as you can see too, it's quite dark underneath my eyes. I wear concealer every day. I know some people don't conceal, but Simone, do you think we do need a concealer?
Yes, I do think we do need a concealer. It will help to get rid of the under eye circles or bags, and it'll also help to brighten up the under eye and just make you look more awake for the day.
Awesome. And when you're applying it, brush or fingers?
You can use your fingers, but I do like using a brush and then also using the Beauty Blender just to push it into the skin at the end.
So Simone, you're using the same sponge that we used for our foundation as well. Do you need to wash it before you put the concealer on?
Nope, that's fine. You don't have to wash it again. You can just go straight in.
Awesome. So too, some really good time-saving tips, because remember, this look needs to be done in under 10 minutes to get you out the door. Okay, so our next step is some pressed powder. Now, is there a tip to starting with your powder, Simone? Should you start in the middle and work out, or?
No, I don't necessarily think. If you're really short on time, I think it's just about getting in there and dabbing your whole face and making sure everything is set. This way, your makeup will last longer.
Next step, we are going to put on some bronzer.
So I'm just going to start by placing it on the forehead, down the temples, on the cheek, under the jawline a little bit, and I'm also going to sweep it across the eye so it doubles as an eyeshadow.
So perfect, so good time saver.
Exactly.
Okay.
Now I'm just going to add some blush to bring that life to the face. So I'm just popping it on the apples of the cheek and then drawing it up towards the ear.
So we're nearly at the end. Next, we're going to do brows.
So you have beautiful thick brows already, so I'm really just filling in the sparse areas. So I'm just using a powder and an angled brush.
Okay, so brows are done. You could do eyeliner at this point if you've got some time. So we want to keep this look to under 10 minutes. We were having a chat before too. So with eyeliner, you really need to invest. You either need. Right. Next step, mascara. Okay, final step before you go out the door to work is lips.
Now you don't need to use a lipstick or a lip liner. If you're really pushed for time, you can just use a gloss.
Done. So you can get this look in under 10 minutes. Just follow the steps below. I'll also put some of the products that we use today as well.